back to Happy Apple Core Homestead. Today we're going to bottle the Himrod wine. And if you have been patiently waiting for part 3 of the Green Grape wine series, you will notice that I am jumping way ahead, and I need to apologize to you guys for that. I deleted the footage on accident, and here we are. So I would like to encourage you to go back and look at part 1 and part 2 of how to make green grape wine. We started this back in September. I used seedless Himrod green grape that I grow out in my garden. And there's part 1 and part 2 to show you the first steps. And right now I'm going to tell you what should have been part 3. I took the wine after it was done fermenting. I took it out of the 5-gallon carboy and I put it into a bucket. And I then put in 5 Campden tabs, 2.5 teaspoons of potassium sorbate, and I back sweetened it. I used 5 cups of sugar mixed in with a little bit of water, and then I put it in that 3-gallon carboy that you see there, just so that it went all the way up to the tippy top and left all of the sediment at the bottom of the 5-gallon carboy. And this was back on December 10th. So the reason why you are seeing this video in January is because after I stabilized the wine and back sweetened it, I left it alone. And that's the stage we're at now. The wine is clear, it tastes delicious, it's beautiful, it smells good, everything is wonderful about this wine, and it is time to bottle it. If I rambled through those steps between the end of what you would have seen in the video part 2 and today, don't worry, I'm going to have those instructions down in the description box for you. Now let's get started on bottling this beautiful wine. I have obviously bottles here. It's a 3-gallon carboy, and we're going to need approximately 15 bottles. It probably will be a little bit less than that, but I made sure that we had enough clean and sanitized and ready to go just in case. I also have the auto siphon and the tubing that goes with it, as well as the bottling wand. Highly recommend that you get this along with the bottling wand because it makes it so easy to get the exact amount of wine in each of your bottles every single time. I also have some corks. I am using some number 9 corks here because I have a floor corker. If you do not have a floor corker, please get number 8 corks. I also have a bucket here. We're going to transfer this wine into the bucket. You don't have to do that. I just like to do it because I tend to move around a lot and I end up getting sediment in the bottles, which I don't want to. So this way I can transfer all of that wine into this bucket and leave all the sediment behind, and then I'll bottle straight from the wine in the bucket. And I also have one of these because I'm going to have to wash that carboy, and I put it upside down on here so it can dry out. These here are little tops to go on the bottles. It's not necessary, it's just a way to make your bottles pretty, and I have a heat gun. I'll show you how to use them. And then once I know how many bottles I have, I will make some labels and show you those as well. I'm going to take you around to the other side and show you the transferring of the wine into the bucket, and we'll get going. All right, we have our bucket on the floor, and we've got our carboy up to the edge of the counter, and we're just going to remove this solid bung that I've had on there. Okay, then you're gonna grab your auto siphon, and the plastic end goes into the auto siphon, just like so. The flexible tubing goes into the bucket, and this goes right into the carboy, and it is very full. I'm gonna try to suck some in here so I can get the tubing in without spilling it all. I'm making a mess. Okay. Slight problem. Okay, you guys. Slight adjustment. I don't have quite enough clearance. I'll have to move it down later, but for now, in an effort to not make a horrible mess, just get a little stand here. There we go. Now we can get going. We're just going to pump this auto siphon a few times till the wine gets flowing. I just have to give it a little extra help here until I can actually get the tubing in. All right, there we go. Now it's flowing nicely. What you don't want to do, I guess you can't even see, here we go. There, now you can see a little bit better. You don't want to put this all the way to the bottom because the whole point is to not let the sediment get into the bucket. All right, now gravity being what it is, this is not going to do as good of a job unless we can get it back on the floor. All right, now she's cooking. Okay, I'm just going to keep an eye on this and hold on to it until it gets all the way down here. All the wine is in the bucket, and we're going to put all of this tubing also right in the bucket. I'll put this up here, and then we're going to cover it up while we rinse out this carboy. I'm going to try to fill these with it on the stool, but I'm not confident. Not confident it'll work. And if that's the case, I'll put the bottles on the floor, no problem. So now what we have to do is insert the tubing for bottle filling right into the end of the flexible tube here. Just like so. And then this goes right into the bottle. And this is the time where you might wish you had an extra set of hands. So this needs to press down in order for the auto siphon to get started. So I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to press down at the bottle and then press down here. And there she goes, all by herself. And I'm going to let this bottle fill. I'm pressing down. That's what lets the wine escape here into the bottle. And I'm going to wait until it's full all the way to the tippy top, and then I'm going to pull it out really quick and stick the tube in another bottle. You can get like a little, drips and drops here on your bar stool when you're doing it this way, so make sure you use a warm cloth to wipe it down. I forgot to do that one time, and there was you couldn't even see it. You couldn't tell it was there, but one of my daughters sat down, and then she had a sticky bum for the rest of the day, and that's not nice. So make sure to clean up all of your little drips so nobody gets a sticky surprise later. And I don't think the camera will show it, but here it is, almost to the top, and it's at the very top, and I'm going to pull it out and pop it right into this next bottle. Then I'll set this bottle aside where it will be corked in just a little bit. So the wine is here, and that's the perfect level for the cork to sit in. It's just the right amount. I'm going to get all of these bottles filled, and when I'm done, I'll come back and let you know how many we got. We got 14 bottles, full bottles of wine, plus 1 3/4 of a glass. So I'm gonna set these aside, put them in the fridge so that my husband can try it later. All right, now we're going to put the corks in. So I'm gonna grab my floor corker and show you how to do it. All right, here is my beautiful floor corker. And we're just going to put the bottle of, well, we can put the cork in first. You're gonna stick your cork in the hole there. And then you're gonna set your bottle of wine right in the center. And I don't have this bolted to the floor, so I like to just put my foot here, make sure I don't make a mess. And then press down. And there you go, check it out. It's got a beautiful cork. It's put in nicely. It's not raised up over the end. I'll show you one more. And there we go. I'm gonna get the rest of these done and then we'll move on to the next step. Now we just need to wash all of those little drips and drops off of the bottles. Make sure that they're nice and clean. We want to put the finishing touches, the labels, and the shrink wraps on a nice clean bottle. All of the bottles are dry now and we have labels. So I have front labels that I kind of designed and printed myself. They're not fancy or anything like that. And then because these might be sold, I also have all the information needed for the back label, which is the government warning, the alcohol volume, my address, and who I am. All of it needs to go in the bottle if you think you might want to sell your wine. And what you want to do, I find the easiest way, is to find the seam of the bottle and try to get the light shining on it just so. And then you pop your label right on that line. And there you go, you got a pretty label. And then on the back, you'll want to put your little disclaimer. You can make it so much fancier, you guys. I'm just, it's just a regular label that has all of the legal information on it. So there we go. There's the front and there's the back. Gives us all the information. And then what we're going to do next is put this is a, whoops, I got two. This is a really nice shrink wrap that goes right on the top like so. And I do the shrink wraps last because there is a seam on them. And if you want that seam to go in the back and not in the front, it's just best to wait and do that after you put your labels on. So over here I have a heat gun. You can use like a tea kettle, the steam from a tea kettle, but trust me, the heat gun, you can probably get one for pretty inexpensive. It's worth every penny for this job. So you turn it on low, let it heat up a little bit, and then I like to start in the back. And just like a hairdryer, and there you go. That is a beautiful finished bottle of wine ready to share with your friends. This, my friends, concludes our video on how to make Himrod green grape wine. The last thing you need to know about how to handle this wine is go ahead and let them sit upright like this for about a week before you lay them flat in your wine racks. If you have any questions or thoughts or opinions, please put them down in the comments. I do apologize that this was part 3 and 4 combined. I hope it didn't mess any of you up that were following along with my series. Speaking of those of you who are following along with my wine series, the rhubarb wine that I started in April of 2025, you guys, is still not done. It is still bubbling. I have not forgotten about you. I did not delete that content. It is just still working on itself. So hopefully soon that will be done and I can show you what that looks like. That's probably the most favorite wine that I've ever made. But alas, it is still very gently bubbling up and doing its thing. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!